John's Dungeon Corner. Yes, right here at the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida. Coming to you live from the studio located in the back. Well, boy, have I got some cool stuff going on today. And in a few minutes, I'm going to bring out a special guest. Ooh, it's guest time again. Yes, round of applause. Yeah. All right, but let's talk about a couple things. So, as far as dice go, we got a really nice restock of all the Norse Foundry dice. In my hand is the smoke crystal set, all gem collection, very nice. They got amethyst, my favorite because they're purple, the pink, the labradorite, the this, the that, and list goes on and on. They're gorgeous. You got to come in and see them. Christmas is right around the corner. There's a birthday, a holiday, something going on that you can get a gift for, is the perfect place to do it. And if you can't really figure out what you want to give them a gift certificate. Those things never run out. You know what I'm saying? They're awesome. I like getting gift certificates because then I can come and buy what this guy likes. All right. So that's about the dice because we love dice. See, dice. Foam brain dice. Very cool dice. They got all kinds of cool stuff. These are a purple pink set that look really cool. This may be our newest edition. Purple, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, these are really nice. So I found these. These are the Bard's Loot. So they're like this bluish, grayish. They got copper numbering, which is really neat and unique. Hey, look, my brother's on. Welcome to the show, Willie Blanco. That's my brother. Yeah. All right, glad you made it. And it's got a loot inside of it in copper. Beautiful set of dice. I might get those just for my my Bard Warlock. Anyway, so that's about the dice. The dice are good. Got a bunch of cool miniatures. Wait till you see this. So starting over here, I'm going to come over here. Just like this. All right, so over here, oh, look, I'm off screen. That's okay, you can hear me. So we got skeletons that are really cool. I like these. One's like, yeah, man, he's really cool. And the other one's like ready to kick butt. See, there we go. There goes those guys. And we got some zombies to go along with them. Oh, here we go. Herringon Brigands. Nothing quite like getting held up by the Energizer Bunny. Then we got some Dragonborn Clerics. This is really cool. I like these too. One's got a mace and the other looks like he's got like a warhammer. That's really nice, right? Hey, Sarah, happy Friday. Welcome to the show. And then here, check this out. The Yuan-Tai Abomination. That's actually kind of cool. You don't want to run that into a dark alley. Actually, we probably run into this in a sewer system or something. So don't get caught down there with that crazy thing. Oh, and then got some really new, bigger miniatures. I think this will look really good with the Warlock Tiles Subterranean Lake set that has the dock. Okay, we got a rowboat and oars. Look at that. Some nice. I bet you can fit some, at least probably about 4 or 5 miniatures in here. Really nice. You got little planks that you can put down there if you want. Okay, paint it up, make it look nice. I'll probably pick one of those up because I do have that tile set. Hey, John, welcome to the show, brother. And check out this fire giant. This is so cool. It's got braided. I believe there's a female fire giant. Wow, this is really nice. Take a look at that. That is a really nice miniature with a flaming sword, braided hair, nice armor. Very cool looking. That's what it would look like painted, And I'll tell you what, talking about painting, don't forget, the Collective has that really nice set of the, what are those things called? Yeah, they're by Army Painter. They're the one-step painting. I can't ever remember what they're called. I got some. I got the first set. I got the set that came out, which is really cool. So that helps out with these. I've used it before. I showed you the miniature, right? The Dragonborn Cleric. Yeah. Now, we go from the rowboat to the big boat. So here is the Falling Star sailing ship. All right? Gorgeous ship. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I'm going to bring it up to you. I've shown you this before, but I bring it up here because of a unique idea I was having. Somebody had asked me something about Spelljammer. Were there any boats that they could use for it? Oh, look at this bad boy. Oh, I froze. It's so big. It's so big. Check this out. That is there we go. Look at that. Fully painted. It's got, how many masts does this thing have? A twin-masted boat with the sails. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it comes fully painted. You ain't got to paint it. It's got cannons on it. Woohoo! I actually have this, but my son Antonio and his fiance gave it to me. as a gift, but they gave me the unpainted version because I like to paint everything. And yes, it'll probably have it may be wood, but it'll probably be made of something like Army Painter Speed Paint. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. See, my viewers love me. They always get me out of trouble, and then I freeze again. You gotta love it. All right, I'm coming back around here. Don't worry about it. All right, so there we go. I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, you got questions. In fact, the show today is kind of based on the question that I got sent. johnsdc2021@gmail.com. Been doing this now for almost a year. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So anyway, all right. So now to the fun part of the show. We have a special guest today. So with any further ado, everybody give her a round of applause to Ariana. You've seen her here at the Collective, and she's coming on the show. Look, it's Ariana.
Hi, everyone.
Look at all these crazy people. Now, remember, there may not be but a handful or so of people here now, but people can go on there and view it. So that's right. You're immortalized.
Oh, hello. Oh, my
God.
God. Do we have glasses? I don't know.
Yep. So check it out. So my first question is, I think this is like the standard question. What got you into Dungeons and Dragons?
So what got me into D&D, my dad found like an old 3.5 like player's handbook at a garage sale. And he was like, my kid's a weirdo. She'd like this. And then I was like 12 when this happened. And
there's Danny. Wait, you got to get Danny on here to say hi.
Come on, Dan. Say hi. My one shank from John.
That ain't right.
Free today. So. But bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't forget, tomorrow Cthulhu invades the Collective with Cthulhu invades.
We're being invaded. I got to post it for you if you come, but I will talk about that in a little bit. This is what happens on the show, sorry.
I know, it happens. It's fine. And I was around 12 at the time, and so I started playing by myself, just because I would make a bunch of NPCs and I'd make one character, and then I would just play with myself because my sibling didn't want to play at all. And then eventually I got my high school theater troupe into it and stuff like that. And now here I am, 24 and a DM.
Wow, 24 and a DM. So she's been playing D&D now for 12 years.
Yeah.
So see, that's kind of like me. I started when I was 11. I'm a little older than 24 though.
Yeah.
It happens like that. But I've been playing for a little bit. But I like that because a new generation of game masters. So talking about that, how long have you actually been game mastering and running games for?
I've been a DM since I was 14. So
14, so 10 years.
Yeah, and I've been a DM pretty much ever since.
You get to play a lot.
No, I it's the curse of the DM. It truly is because everyone wants to play D&D, but nobody wants to DM D&D.
Oh, here's the funny thing. So you guys know. So she came in and I met her. We were talking. I said, "Hey, you got to come and play on a Wednesday." Which she did. She showed up Wednesday to play. And what happens? We have 8 new players that wanted to. Oh, we want to play. Well, the Wednesday games were all packed up. So, like a true DM, Ariana starts running a game, and now she's got 10 to 11 players every Wednesday playing.
Yeah,
that's what happens. It's like that. Last Wednesday we had 32 players, I think.
Yeah.
11, 22. Yeah, about 30 with DMs, about 32, 33 people.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons for the win on Wednesdays. But okay, so here's the question. So I brought you in especially today because I got a question. I get these questions on the week weekly on my email, and they said the question was, and I'm paraphrasing because it was pretty well written, but to paraphrase it, they had come in and they saw all the games going on. Mm-hmm. This was actually a couple of weeks ago, and they kind of came by. They were here last Wednesday, but there was just so many players they didn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
They said, I noticed that all the game masters / DMs seem to be playing by different rules. Mm-hmm. And why is that? I thought that everybody used the same rules. So let me just say this before I bring it to her, because she's going to kind of elaborate a little bit more. I've told you guys, just like Gary Gygax, Ernie, his brother, and Dan Arneson said, these are just guidelines. It's guidelines for you to use or not use. If you try to use every rule that's in every book that's ever been published, you'd never get anything accomplished. You'd be sitting there a week just trying to create characters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. So that's the first thing is guidelines. And then there's so many rules because there's so many different flavors of the game, aspects. And we're going to get into that. Actually, Ariana's going to tell you about her games so you can kind of see what I'm talking about because I've talked about my games. But I use certain rules. And Wednesday, one of the questions was, he saw me rolling dice, and it was a good night of rolling dice, and I was rolling these 20s, and I was just like, he says, well, I thought 20s were critical hits automatically. I said, well, they are, but if I had sat there and actually inflicted the critical hits that I rolled, and this is kind of like a me thing. Not every game master does this, but to me, the game is more important than whether there's no winning or losing. Like Gary said, it's the community, it's the camaraderie that counts. Your character can die, and you know what? Your friends are still. You can create another one and go on. Just make sure you keep a finger. No, anyway. So I told him, I said, well, the thing is that you really. It's about the spirit of the game. You know, at that point, they were fighting really strong creatures, and yeah, that can happen. And I kind of hold back sometimes. I want to see the characters develop. There's a lot of new players that were at that table, so I want them to kind of get the feel of the game instead of just, oh, boom, bam, bam, boom. Oh, you're dead. Okay, next. You know, that's no fun for anybody. Not for the game masters and not for them. But that's just a little thing that I do, among other things. In the big picture, and this is what I'm going to turn it over to her, is that every game will have a different theme. Every game will have a different atmosphere, and every game is in a different, maybe even in a different genre. And with that being said, all right, you run a unique game that people come in and go, wow, that's pretty cool. And it's not for everybody. Once again, I've told you guys, not every game is for everybody, but it's very interesting what you've done. So tell them about it.
So pretty much, because I don't do hack and slash, I don't really like hack and slash kind of campaigns. It's not for me. I'm so sorry. I like storytelling. That's my favorite part of D&D. And so the game that we decided on, it's like a Game of Thrones style campaign, but all the different kingdoms are like, it's like different parts of the animal kingdom. And so that's what's going on. And none of my PCs are playing royalty. They're all playing like the outsiders, like the advisor and a knight and a ward and stuff like that. And I thought that was a really interesting dynamic because they have this really, really dinky king that has never seen battle.
Poor king.
And we had our first combat session on Wednesday, and this kind of goes back to your question of like how different DMs run different games and like why does it seem like everyone does it differently? And so I was like, clearly, because it got ambushed on the road by people from like a different kingdom, and I was like, clearly the people who are ambushing them, their main goal is going to be to kill the king. So I didn't attack any of my PCs the entire time. It was all them trying to save the king and make sure that the king is safe and like all the royal family safe. And I did that because I had a lot of new players on my team or like in the session, and they were going up against like level 5 rogues. And I was like, okay, these people have 9 hit points. They would die immediately, and that's not fun. No. And so I was like, okay, they're going to instead attack the king, who was secretly a level 6 warlock that they had no idea about until he busted out some magic. And it's another thing where like I don't do alignments either. I think alignments are kind of silly. I think they're a little outdated. And I don't do experience points. I do milestone. Experience points, it's a bunch of math I'm not going to do. Like, it's too much.
Math? Who needs math?
Exactly.
Dice. We need dice.
And then my own personal campaign that I do, I'm doing a sci-fi campaign.
There we go.
Where the most important rule for me is the rule of cool. Like, if what you're doing is sick, I'm going to let it happen. If you are creative and you are thinking outside the box with the things, if it's bending the rules a little bit, but it's a very, very clever idea, I'm going to reward you for being clever, because that's the kind of campaign that I like.
See? So there you have it from the game master's mouth. I mean, and that's just one of the games that I run here, but it's neat because, as you can tell, she's a young lady. A lot of people will go, well, are there any women who play? Good grief. Open your eyes. Yeah. Come in here on a Wednesday and see what's going on. I mean, here's a female dungeon master who's been doing it for a while and enjoys doing it. It's really neat. So that just goes to show you how the popularity of Dungeons & Dragons has really kind of blossomed, okay? And the neat thing about her game is people were watching. I kind of stood over for a little bit because I got my own game going on, but we all take breaks, so I was kind of listening in, and the players were having a good time. So really, whatever's going on at the table, doesn't matter if I liked it or if they're not following the rules or if their game was different than mine. The important part is that the players are having a good time.
Yeah.
And if they keep coming back, that's a good thing. That's a good sign. you want to ask me, so is that person a good DM? I don't know. They got 11 players and they keep coming back. So either they're gluttons for punishment or they're having a good time. And either way, they're liking it. So there you have it.
Yeah.
I have a table of like 10 to 12 that shows up. She has a table of like 10 to 12 that shows up. I think you had 10 players that night.
Yeah.
Remember something, guys, folks, ladies, that Dungeons and Dragons nowadays is really designed for like 5 to 6 players at most. We're running games with twice that many.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit more work. It takes a little bit more dedication. But the thing is, if everybody can have fun, if you can imagine, really, you get maybe, if you're lucky, in the 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours that we run our games, if you get, 5 turns?
Yeah.
You're like, that's 50 rounds.
Yeah.
50 people, not including the NPCs that the game master is running, right? Okay, so if she has 10 players, how many NPCs did you have to run?
I had 5 NPCs.
But you have 5 NPCs plus the king. So I have 6. So I have 16 turns.
Yeah.
16 actions that have to happen every round.
I think we got through like 4 or 5 rounds.
Okay, so 5 rounds is 80 turns.
Yeah.
80 turns went by in that time. That's a lot when you look at it that way. So I know some people are coming in seeing that and going, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people." You know what? It's about having fun. I say these things. It's just me, my opinion. Ariana's is her opinion, and sometimes we agree on things we don't. But she doesn't like the hack and slash in her campaign. She has it in there. It's an element of it, but it's just not. It's more of a story game.
Yeah.
With my group, I think it's more of a little bit more of a hack and slash as opposed to the story. Although some of them enjoy the story, and there is story there. Okay, so and it's the balance that you have to maintain. Sometimes the skills tip one way or another, but they eventually balance out. And the idea is to just find a game that's suitable and fun for you, but don't get caught up on the rules, right?
Don't get caught up on the
rules. Lawyers, I've told you guys this before, and I think she'll agree. Rules lawyers are no fun. If you got to go all night and, oh, wait, no, you don't see, wait, let me show you where it says that. Like she said, and tell them again about the whole rule and what you said about having fun. And
the rule of cool.
The rule of cool.
The
I
rule
mean,
of
I
cool,
think that's good. Remember that. Rule of cool.
Yeah. It's just, because one of my other players has also been a DM before, and he's a little bit more rules lawyery than I am, just because, again, if it's a cool thing that you want to do, I'm going to let you do it because that's the way that...
Okay, so what's a cool thing? Tell us one of the cool things.
Well, this wasn't happening in my campaign on Wednesday, but one of my other players... Oh, God. I'm trying to think of a cool thing that they were doing that I was just like, you know what, go ahead and do it. Oh, they had to... In my personal campaign, they had to like get a woman off stage so that way they can like claim a prize or something. Like it's very confusing. It's not going to make any sense. But the idea that my players came up with was that they were going to put laxatives in her drink instead of like killing her like a normal campaign would. And so I fully intended for them to kill this woman, and they were like, no, we're going to put laxatives in her drink and we're going to embarrass her. And I was like, that's a much better idea and that's a lot funnier. So I'm going to go ahead and let you do it. I didn't even have them, I think I had them do like one grappling check just to like actually put the laxative in, like, or no, it was a sleight of hand check to put that laxative in the drink without.
Oh my gosh, that's the best.
Which they failed, by the way, and that was even funnier. And so they had to grapple her to the ground and then like shove it down her throat.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty then.
And so yeah, so that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, whatever. This is a cool thing that you guys want to do. I'm gonna let you guys do it.
There you have it.
Yeah.
That's like Frank and Antonio's campaign. Yes, like Frank and Antonio's campaign. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's just like Antonio's not on here, but yes, you'll see this and go, yep, they're talking about Frank again.
Yeah. And
I like that. See, that's just what I'm talking about. And that it just flowed with the plot, and the plot continued on. Are there rules for that? Who cares?
And it's like the sci-fi campaign that I'm doing. It's like a goofier kind of campaign. Like I told them all my PCs to make like bozo kind of characters and just like the weirdest characters. Like one of them is a robot who found an old video of LeBron James playing basketball. It was like a Lakers versus Suns game from 2021, actually, and then became obsessed with LeBron James, and then now is convinced LeBron James is his dad, despite the fact that he's a robot and doesn't have a father. And so that's kind of like the tone for my campaign.
Oh my, there you have it.
And so I'm very into storytelling. That because I went to school for creative writing. I've been a writer my entire life, and so that's the biggest thing that I'm most concerned about in my campaigns is if the story's good. My dream campaign is a campaign with little to no combat, honestly, because I hate running combat.
There it is. See, there you go.
But-
and that's a good thing. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's your style. If the players like it, that's what they like.
Exactly.
You know, and she'll find people like that, and then those are her players. But I got to tell you, 10 players can't be wrong. I mean, 10 to 12 players every Wednesday coming back since she started. That says a lot. So,
I keep trying to convince you that I'm a good DM, and you keep fighting me on it.
I got nothing to say. She wouldn't be on the show if she wouldn't be on the show if she wasn't a good game master. Can't just bring any person out here.
I agree.
Good grief, who knows what they'll say, right?
No.
And then, by the way, all this is just live. I just ask questions. She says what she wants, and whoopsies.
I talk about laxatives.
Whoops, yeah, she talks about laxatives. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I had one character, Rogue, who loved parkour.
Mhm.
And that was like athletic and acrobatics, checks after check after check, and the crazy stuff you did. And now a Harrington.
Harrington?
The Harrington. If a Harrington became
Aragon?
a acrobatic, a thief acrobat, could you imagine that?
Oh my god, that'd be intense.
That would be crazy,
Yeah.
but it'd be kind of cool. Anyway, that's just throwing it out there for all you folks who might be thinking of some fun pull the rabbit out of the hat kind of trick. No pun intended.
That'd be cool, like homebrew.
Right?
Spell.
Anyway, see, look at that. Quick ding, ding, ding. We're already, wheels are turning.
Yeah.
But so you've been playing now for a decade. So you've seen the inception of 3.5, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
So you've seen at least 3 different editions, and you
Mhm.
started with
3
basically 3.0, which is
Yeah.
the box sets.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you think about the new 5.0 compared to the previous editions?
I really, really like 5e. I think 5e is a lot easier for new players to come in, and especially with like the upsurge in Dungeons and Dragons, because like Stranger Things and stuff like that. I feel like 5e is the best addition for right now, just because you can make in 5e you can make a character in like 20-30 minutes. It's very, very easy. And in 3.5 it took like hours to make a character.
2 point.
And also
I
it's
still like 3.5 too.
it's because you're more used to 3.5, and I play 3.5 by myself the entire time.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to kill yourself. You're always killing your own characters. It's kind of
It makes you sad, especially when you're 12. You're like, oh, this is brutal, my beautiful character.
my beautiful characters.
But I really, really like 3.5, and especially because it's a lot easier for DMs to navigate through it, especially new DMs. And I have a lot of people who people think that I'm like an endless knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons just because I've been playing for so long, but I've also homebrewed pretty much everything since the beginning.
But homebrew, see, that's something, and
Mhm.
we've talked about the homebrew. It's nice that you said that because, a lot of people are so, I got to get this, I got to run it like this. Even with I'm going to talk about the homebrew, let's talk about the homebrew in a second, but even those campaigns I've told you, just because the module says this, doesn't mean you can't do that.
Yeah.
Remember, it's your game. This just kind of helps you along. And as you become more familiar with the game, you can take a module, and if it was an undead module, you could easily insert orcs, insert goblin tribe, insert whatever, and keep the same campaign, the maps and everything, and just change the flavor of the campaign. Now, in a homebrew, though, that's a totally different world, because in that, you're doing it all from scratch. So
Yeah.
tell them about homebrewing. That's basically what you're master of.
I love homebrewing, and people will talk to me about like different monsters and stuff like that, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about because I have never seen that monster a day in my life because I homebrew everything.
Even your monsters.
Even my monsters, I homebrew everything. I homebrewed a entire race for one of my players in my Wednesday campaign because they wanted to play a sheep centaur. So I was like, let me homebrew the sheep centaur race because it doesn't really exist in Dungeons and Dragons.
So how'd you do it? Did you kind of like take a little bit from the shapeshifter and from the centaur?
I made it a Fae based character.
There you go. See,
just because that made the most sense to me. And so I took like this, I just looked at a bunch of different stats online. I was just like, okay, it's like a mishmash of everything. And that's how all my campaigns are. It's just a big mishmash. Like in my sci-fi campaign that I'm doing, I'm using the Star Wars system, but that system, there's like some like kind of more, weirdly enough, there's like societal rules in this sci-fi campaign that are important, and so I had to like bring in like Regency era stuff into it.
There you go.
Those rules. But I think homebrewing is the way to go. Honestly, I haven't used a module in like 10 years. The first time I ever DM'd to use a module, and it got derailed within like 5 minutes. And me being 14 and being like so scared to DM for the first time, it turned me off from modules forever. And I got
that can't happen.
traumatized.
That can't happen. So, but there you have it. That's the flip side of the coin there. It takes a lot of work. Don't think that you can just start creating stuff and it's all gonna. It takes a lot of work to homework.
Yeah.
That's why the modules and stuff. If you're a new, especially the new box sets that came out, that I've talked to you about on a show with the Minds of Fendelver, I think that's amazing. The mapping is cool. The pre-gens are great. It helps a DM step by step, and it's kind of hard to derail that. They've kind of streamlined modules now a lot more, and a lot of the modules, the big book modules, are just like, and I run the same system, the milestone. This one is not a lot. It used to be, oh my God, okay, well, this goblin is worth 25 and this guy's worth 30, and you got it, and I need this much. This makes it easier. You decide, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do it, but what I do is I'll take the number of characters, the number of experience points they all need to get to the next level, multiply times that, and that's my base for that entire adventure set of the campaign. So if it's 10 and they need 300, I have 3,000 experience points. And all I do, and it's easy because in the monster, I mean, you do your homebrew, so it's a little different, but in the monster manual, it tells you a goblin is worth 50 experience points. So I can use 60 goblins, 3,000. There you go, right? 60, 50 is 3,000. But, I mean, I don't. I mean, I spread it out, and this event, this encounter, this one adds up to 3,000. At the end of this, second level. It's that easy. It really is that easy. Or you can say, okay, I think they're good enough. Let's just make them second level. It's completely up to the game master.
Yeah.
That's just a guideline, okay? Once again, the guidelines. But, okay, so we're going to start wrapping up, but thank you so much.
I
know you have to get to work now, right?
Yeah,
she has to go back to work. I pulled her from work, and Brendan's a great guy. He let her come out here for a half hour, 20 minutes, and hang out with us. So thank you so much.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
John. Thank you.
I can't wait to see what goes on in your campaign.
Thank you.
The king turned out to be a warlock.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, right?
You never know. Their dinky little king turned out to be a very powerful warlock.
That's crazy. More powerful than them.
Yeah.
Ha. Well, thank you, though.
Of course.
Appreciate you. All right, another round of applause. Yes, thank you. But so see, that was fun. So we got like a Game of Thrones kind of thing, home brewed. It's all from scratch. I'm gonna tell you, that's a lot of work. I can tell you from experience, that is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's almost like a movie. You know how a movie, it may be, let's talk about the real long ones. Or a short movie, hour and a half, 90 minutes, right? On the screen, it's 90 minutes from start to finish. Do you know how many months and years it may have taken just to make that hour and a half movie? Well, kind of the same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. When you sit down, even if you have a module, you still got to work out how this is going to work, how much time I have to play, what level are the characters, what are their composition, are the monsters going to challenge them, or are they too overwhelming? Do I have to take some monsters out? What if you have 7 players that were supposed to show up and you only got 4? Do I leave the module the same? Do I cut it back? Maybe I take those monsters and spread them out a little bit more. That's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that happens. And in a homebrew, it's from square one to square however far you go in the campaign that you have to put in all that work. So be nice to your game master every once in a while. Say thank you. You know, I appreciate you because, wow, it's a lot. It is a lot to ask them. And the game master, Anthony's a really good game master. Ariana's a good game master. Game mistress, right?
Yes, sir.
Game mistress. And Antonio is another one that runs a great game. We alternate our games. So, you know, and I do pretty good. I mean, I figure as long as the players keep coming back, like I said, they're either gluttons for punishment or they're having a good time, as the case may be. But, you know, I have a home campaign. In fact, I have a staff campaign. I have a Wednesday night campaign, and then I have a home campaign that I run. And then I play in 2 others, which are really cool. Actually, in 3 others. Andy, which you guys remember, I've introduced to you. My good friend Billy, he runs a really good game. And, of course, Antonio runs a game. And so I play in 3 and I run 3. I love it. I just have a really good time with Dungeons & Dragons. It's a great way to spend some time with family, friends, acquaintances, and just have a good time. And you get to laugh, and we do that a lot. You know, we laugh a lot, and we have a good time. Here, you know, we have a set amount of time that we get to play, and I think we got through about 5 rounds, 6 rounds maybe. So we did about 60 about 60 to 70 turns on Wednesday night, and we had a really good time. So yeah. But anyway, hey, if you got any questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question, okay? Just send it to me at johnsdc2021@gmail.com. I'll come on here and we'll talk about it. I appreciate all the emails that I've gotten, and I promise some of them, like I said, I'm putting together because they're kind of related, and I'll answer all those like in one show. It makes it easier because it's kind of like I'm going to end up, if you start at this point talking about something, it'll lead to other things, and it's nice when I have the emails because I can kind of link them all and answer them all, and you'll probably get a little bit more information than you asked for, but it's all related. At least I hope it's all related. Sometimes I go off on a tangent, but today was really good. We kind of talked about campaigns. We hinged it kind of like last week when I was talking about campaigns and other times that I've talked, but you got to see a great game master who runs nothing but homebrew campaigns, and everybody loves it. She's just got 2 games going on. Sounds like on Wednesday night, it looks like everybody's really involved, and she's got a very diverse crowd of like high school students all the way up to older folk, older adults. So new players, sort of experienced players, just goes to show you can have fun if you want to, and if you find the right group. If it's not the right group for you, then find another group. But thanks to Ariana for being on the show. Thanks to you for coming and viewing the show. And I will see you. Oh, before I go, don't forget, I promised you something. So next week, or not next week, tomorrow, if you come to the Collective taken over by the Cthulhu, you'll get this really cool Harley Heroes poster. It's a nice series of comic books by Shadower Comics. The guys are really cool, really nice guys. Great collection of books. They're in there's book 5,